Let's take a look at the group, just to remind you how it stands after these results. 2 matches remaining, and it is literally anyone's. Napoli and Liverpool level on points, PSG third. Red Star get themselves back into it with that win against Liverpool.
Are you including Red Star in that? It's anyone's?
Yeah, why not?
I'll tell you why not, because when they travel away from home, they get absolutely pasted.
They don't like travelling through. So, PSG, Liverpool, Napoli against Red Star on my birthday, and then it is Liverpool.
Oh, thank you for that. Happy birthday.
You want to get the orders in now.
Get the cake in. That's the...
Okay, from a Liverpool's perspective, it doesn't matter what happens against PSG. If they beat Napoli by at least 2 goals, then they will be through. That's the way in which the group has worked out. Remember, it's head-to-head that separates these sides, not goal difference. It is the big question.
Sounds really simple, doesn't it?
Exactly. Can they go to Paris and get a result?
Yes, they can. If they perform to a level that we know that they can, yes, they can. But will they? Will PSG up a level that they haven't done so far? You have to think that at some stage PSG are going to step on the field and show us what they're really all about.
Right.
We know how good Napoli can be. I mean, look at them against PSG away from home. So, I think they're favourites because... Liverpool, yeah. Listen, if you give Liverpool, at the start of this campaign, if you beat Napoli at home, then you're probably going to go through. You would have taken it all day long. But it's tough.
They just seem to have taken it down at least a notch in terms of their intensity. I mean, I know Arsenal are on a great run, and Unai Emery's doing some good things at the moment down there, but they would have smothered this Arsenal team. They would have stifled the mistakes out of them. They didn't do that. Okay,
can I be startled?
You can be what you want.
Whatever.
Because clearly you want to get this out.
Since Liverpool played Spurs, right, in the middle of September,
Right.
between then and today, it works out that the players have played every 4 days, and they've been playing against Chelsea twice, they played City, they played Spurs, they played Arsenal, they played PSG, they played Napoli. So that's a tough old workload, and it's no surprise that they're tired. And again, I'll go back to my point. That's where Klopp comes in. That's where he earns his corn, by picking the right teams at the right time and getting his tactics right.
We can focus on Liverpool all we want, but there is a chance and an opportunity for PSG to be knocked out of this.
Yep.
They may stay out and not get out of the group. And if that's the case, the amount of failure is... You thought that it was bad with Emery. And this is supposed to be a genius, Tommy Tuchel, and there is a real opportunity, a real chance for PSG to miss out. You invest in the players the way you have. You place yourself in the market as if you're one of the big guys, one of the big boys. You're not playing like it. You better do it in the next couple of games, otherwise, we'll see you later.
But if I was PSG, I think I would be relatively confident.
So they've got Liverpool.
If I've got Liverpool at home, who aren't quite playing as well as they were last year, they're joint second in the Premier League, they're 2 points behind. The joint top of this group, I get that, but they're just slightly undercooking what they were. You've got PSG who are playing them at home, and then you've got PSG who've got arguably the worst team. Well, they've got the worst team in the segment, but it's away from home.
Yeah.
I think if I was them, I would be saying, listen, 6 points here.
So you've got PSG going through, yeah?
Why are you always putting words in people's mouths?
Well, because you seem to be saying that you prefer to be PSG out of these 3 teams.
Right, I'm going to put... Yes, I'm going to say PSG going through because I can see them beating Liverpool in Paris, and then I think they'll do enough in Belgrade. I'm going to say that, yeah.
And then who else? This is where... surprise question I brought up there.
Liverpool at home, I'm going to say Liverpool.
Liverpool? Oh. Jules?
Yeah, I think PSG would be happy with the point today, but also the situation in the group. I mean, the defeat by Liverpool was unexpected from them and from Napoli's point of view as well. So that was a big bonus. And I think, like Craig said, they would be confident with, the home game, the last home game against Liverpool at the Parc des Princes, and then going away to Belgrade. That would be a tough game, as we saw for Napoli and Liverpool. But I think if at the same time Napoli and Liverpool play each other at Anfield, then they will fancy their chances for sure to try to nick one of the 2 spots, and I think they will do it as well. I agree with Craig, Liverpool and PSG to go through for me too.
Red Star Belgrade 2, Liverpool 0. Where did it all go wrong, Stevie?
It all went wrong after Daniel Sturridge missed the target from 6 yards. That really could have set Red Star on their heels. Instead, they just went forward from there. And quite frankly, 2-0 at half-time for Red Star. Could have been more.
Liverpool look flat.
They look tired.
Yeah.
You know, since the Spurs game back in September, they've had a lot of games, pretty much every 4 days, including the international week as well. They look jaded. And when your team looks jaded, I think you have to change the system. Klopp did it today in the second half of the game. They went to 3 at the back, and they dominated the second half. So maybe that's the way for him to go, to try and get some legs back.
Big picture now, getting out of the group could be a struggle. It could all come down to that game in Paris against PSG.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the way this group's gone,
Yeah.
Napoli, PSG, Liverpool, we all figured it would go to the last game. We certainly didn't figure that it would be about Red Star. Putting a spoke in everybody's wheels. But exciting, yes. From a Liverpool point of view, very disappointing.
Steve Nicol, thank you very much. Of course, a lot more reaction from today's Champions League matches on ESPN FC, available later on ESPN+. Jules, I'm intrigued. What did you make of Neymar's performance?
I thought it was really good at times by finding some pockets of spaces in between the Napoli defense and the Napoli midfield. I thought it was good for that. I thought he, especially in the first half, he got his mojo going, and he was at the start of the move for the Bernat goal, for example. And then in the second half, he lost his way a bit. I mean, we saw some of that attitude back from last season, for example, when he was on the ball, when he didn't get the fouls that he wanted or that he thought he should get from the referee. He was yellow carded for complaining too much to Bjorn Kuipers as well. So the first half it looked like the new Neymar, and the second half was very much like the old Neymar, the one that we didn't want to see anymore, by moaning a lot and actually losing focus on the game. And I think it's a real shame, because he was really influential in that first half, I thought, and clearly not enough in the second half.
And here's why. And to go back to Joe's point there, we will not see the best of Neymar until he eventually gets the referee's whistle in his mouth, because he wants to referee the game. And here's why you saw the best of him in the first half. Because PSG had the ball. Because PSG were in control. Because he didn't have to chase, he didn't have to defend. And then in the second half, when Napoli changed tactics and changed mindset, he was having to do more of a shift. The game was more spread out, and they were on the attack. And by the way, Alan was brilliant in there, sniping around them. And so we started to see the frustrated Neymar, the I'm not getting my own way Neymar. And that's the difference. When the game's going against a PSG, and the bigger games in the Champions League like this or in the knockout rounds, he's going to have to do it when the tide is turning, not just when they've got good possession in the first half and they're controlling the game.
It's a lack of discipline and responsibility. You know, the number of times in the second half where he lost the ball, either because he went in the half or it wasn't a foul, there's 3 and 4 players caught out of position, because when he's getting closed down by 3 players, as they were, he's not releasing the ball. Messi, he's the absolute master at that. He pulls 3 players in, releases it, and then everybody goes from there. It's just a lack of responsibility.
So you may think that because he goes and gets the ball in a deeper area that he's taking responsibility, that he wants to put the team on his back. Well, actually, it works against PSG, because him coming deeper to try to get the ball gets him from where he's most dangerous, in advanced positions, in the final third. And because he starts running with it and eventually collapses into 3 and 4 defenders, there is no space for PSG to play. And because he's not willing to release the ball, as Stevie was just talking about, then the opportunities go to die. And what happens? Then the counterattack goes the other way. Napoli has all the momentum, and then PSG has lost control of the ball.
Hello everyone, welcome into Extra Time, an exciting day of Champions League action. Of course, a big talking point, that defeat for Liverpool, and it's our first point of reference. Did Jules celebrate after seeing Liverpool dropping points and keeping PSG alive in the competition?
Hell yeah, man! I was loving it. I was speaking Serbian. I was cheating on in Serbian. Pavkov, or whatever his name is, my new hero. It was brilliant.
I wish you could have a split screen of Stevie's reaction as you're saying that. Oh, wait, very nice.
By the way, he also said, hell yeah, man.
Did you watch it on your own, or did you watch it with people, the Liverpool game?
I watched it on my own.
Because you can't watch Liverpool with people.
No, I can't.
What happens?
Is that why you sat?
Just lose my rag.
Yeah. He did it at the Arsenal game. He wouldn't watch the Arsenal game.
Well, he was watching it with people. He was watching it with his YouTube friends.
I get too stuck into it.
You get too what?
I get too stuck into it.
Ah, okay.
I end up at the refs coaching, from the first second to the last second, I was on edge all the time.
We don't want you on edge.
And I was like that. I'm like that now. I can't help it, and it's no fun.
But you're the same at the golf when there's other people around.
No,
Like human
no,
beings.
no. There are occasions when I kind of just go over the edge, but generally chilled out.
Oh.
Are you still confident in Liverpool getting out of the group then, Stevie? Napoli and PSG are surely in much better positions to both qualify for the knockout stages.
How are they both in better positions when they're behind Liverpool?
I suppose their fixtures are easier.
Listen, yeah, I think they'll be okay, but let's be honest. I mean, you could put a case up for every one of these three teams why they would go through, or why they wouldn't go through. So it's really in the balance. I think they'll go through with PSG, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be really, really tight.
What's the difference between Liverpool and Spurs, apart from Liverpool having a more expensive squad and no stadium construction to worry about?
What's the difference between them? 5 European Cups.
And a packet of crisps.
Umpteen league titles.
And if I get Chris.
Bit of a busier trophy cabinet, I'd say.
I suppose at the moment maybe we're more critical of Spurs than we are Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool just been at the Champions League final, so it wasn't a bad feat, really.
Sitting second in the league, right?
It's not me, this person.
We've just given you 4 reasons.
What's going on at PSG, Jules? The biggest game of the year and no Cavani in the starting lineup. Is there trouble in Paris that we don't know about?
So he was injured. He's coming back from injury, and Tuchel said he was not 100% anyway. However, there's a big debate to have on that. Is the team playing better without him? Because of the relationship between Neymar and Cavani, between Neymar and Mbappe, sorry. So if you put Mbappe in the center and Neymar just behind him, you get a better balanced team. And I think a lot of people, including Thomas Tuchel, probably think so. The thing with Cavani in those big games is that if you don't give him a chance to score, for the rest of the game, it's talking about build the play and link and play and things like that. It's pretty useless, to be fair. So you could quickly be playing with just 10 men.
Clear which side of the fence Jules sits on regarding Cavani.
I tell you what, how come
No, I'm just saying, it's true.
Cavani and Suarez for Uruguay work the socks off.
Yep. Now, look, I look at Cavani, premier striker, not only in Europe, but in the world.
Yep.
If he is healthy and fit and ready to go, he would be playing in my team. Certainly in a game in which I know I need my most talented players. He's got to be one of the most talented players at PSG. For him to be on the bench, if he's fit, I just don't see it.
Are we going to be talking about him in January, Jules?
No, I don't think they will let him go, and I don't think he will want to go unless he really starts not playing at all. I think he will start at Monaco on Sunday, for example. But I think there's a bigger debate and there's a bigger, choice to make for Tuchel in those big games. What's going to happen against Liverpool at the Parc des Princes in 3 weeks, for example? It'll be very interesting to see who starts up front and in what formation as well. Because if you play that 3-4-3 that Tuchel really likes, and I think he will play like that for most of the season now. How do you play Neymar, Di Maria, Cavani and Mbappe all together? Can you even do that?
Final question. Should Dembele or Malcolm force a move in January? Chelsea should be all over these two.
Well, maybe James Murphy is a Chelsea fan and wants the influx of Dembele and Malcolm. I don't think that either one of them should force a move, nor will force a move. They're fine in Barcelona.
We were talking about superstitions yesterday.
Well, first, if somebody can... Does anybody know how to mix cement?
What?
If anybody can tweet in
Surely
some...
there's a YouTube how to mix cement video that you could watch.
What could
Well, I was
possibly go wrong?
Trying to find...
Why would you need the YouTube when you've got I'm here?
Oh, sorry, Stephen.
I was a bricklayer's labourer
Right.
for 7 months.
Okay.
And you know what my duty was?
Mixing cement?
Mixing cement.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell us.
And when are you off?
Well, it depends what concentration you're looking for. You can either do 3 of one, 3 of sand, 1 of cement, or you can do 2 of sand, 1 of cement.
So he's trying to get us post up.
Yeah, so seriously, because there's not much you can do. Can you mix cement?
I sure can.
There you are.
Brilliant.
There you are. Get round his.
That's it then, that's it. Get the post, saw the post, get it back in shape.
Aye.
You can cement it in.
You get the beer in and I'll get you
So
cement.
why didn't you cement your own mailbox when that was installed?
Ah, good question.
Yeah.
Oh, because you've got to dig the hole first.
Right.
Well, I didn't fancy digging the hole. It was on rocks and all kinds of stuff.
Rocks.
So I didn't fancy that.
That's it. We are done. We will be back tomorrow. Juventus against Manchester United. Certainly the game that catches the eye. We'll be looking back at that. Plus the update on Cementgate.
You will be mixing my cement now. It's official.
In Italy, it finished. Inter 1, Barcelona 1. Sometimes stats don't tell the whole story, but the fact that Inter had 1 shot on goal, Barcelona 26 chances in total, 8 on goal, can sum it up pretty nicely, can't it, Craig? Inter, well, got away with it. Is that fair?
Kind of PSG was the main PSG Napoli, or Napoli PSG was kind of main game of the focus. But every time we looked up at the screen, Luis Suarez was having a pop at goal, or somebody was having a pop at goal, and I think the stats back that up. I don't think in the long run it's going to affect them. But it was a big chance just to nail Inter, and they were slack at the end when Icardi scored, but played some good stuff, Barcelona.
They're showing. Sometimes we forget about Barcelona, don't we? When we're talking about Manchester City, PSG, Juventus. They're still there, and they're still very much a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're still there, and let's not forget who's not there.
Yeah.
So Messi's watching from the stands, and you're like, man, this is the performance that they're putting against an Inter team that a lot of people fancy this year simply because of their performance in Serie A. And it's been great, and Icardi's great, and this guy and that guy. Barcelona went into Milan, and they were just knocking the ball around Inter. Had it not been for an afternoon where Luis Suarez was not at his best, this would have been out of hand early on.
You're the only man on the planet then that's forgot about Barcelona.
What I mean is that I don't feel we talk about them as much with regards to Champions League.
Well, that's because you produce this programme and you present this programme.
I suppose it's true in the
what is
Barca
it to talk about?
aren't a big story. Well, I suppose that's the problem.
What is it to talk about?
What do you mean, what is there to talk
Well,
about?
what is it to, there's absolutely no way they weren't getting through this group. So,
Do you want to move on?
absolutely, aye.
Okay,
You like the uniform?
We could actually say it was typical Inter, though. It's what they've done all season, even when they haven't played well and they've been battered, they hang on in there and they get a goal.
Let's take a look at the Group B standings, shall we? Because, of course, the other teams in this group faced off. It was Spurs against PSV, and Spurs coming from behind to beat the Dutch league leaders by 2-1. Harry Kane with a brace, but the second one took a couple of deflections, probably be an own goal.